We're back. I'm not wearing any pants.
Here we go. Yo, this is nuts, man. This computer just acts stupid. It has a mind of its own. Thank you guys for basically being here with us today. Let me remove this real quick. How y'all doing, man? We got 20 people in here. Thank you for being here with us tonight. More actually going to be coming in. Again, it's going to be a great night, full of discussion, spoiler alert. So we will be talking about Black Adam in its entirety. Also, I wanted to, pay homage to one of the greats, Alex Ross. I mean, literally, I spent over the weekend just watching documentaries, just studying some of the pieces that I had from him. I just love Alex Ross. I love his pieces. Also, we're going to address the Walter Hamada, situation as well. And a few comic picks that we actually got from a few people. We're going to discuss that current state of everything. We're going to dip in. But before we do that, I want to address something really quick, and we're going to keep this brief. Here's the thing, and I want to put this out there. This is a space where we create jargon. Comics, we talk comics, and we're pretty much passionate about this day in and day out, week in and week out. You know what I mean? So, if we're not talking about this live, we're talking about this behind the scenes, and we're passionate about it. Either me and Vinny are talking about it, me and Brendan are talking about it, Jason Dipson. We are passionate about this because we've been collecting from day one. We were born, this is embedded in our genes. Everything that we know about life is through comics. This is basically something that has centered us. It's something that got us started down here. It's also helps expand the imagination and just, push the envelope a bit when it comes to discussions. And so when we have these discussions, we want to be passionate about it. And we invite you guys to be passionate about it. Now, it is not a space where we want anyone to basically feel as though they are being harassed, they are being bullied, or, pretty much there's a gang bang in a sense, you know what I mean, on top of them. We don't want that at all. We try to create a safe space where everybody can basically feel as though they are welcome. And that's where we basically reside. Now, I know last week, there was an incident where someone felt as though, the comments that were basically made by us or about anybody else might have actually, made them feel a certain way. That's not a space for it. But we do basically want everybody to know that when you're here and you're joining in the discussion, it will get heated sometimes. Sometimes we will challenge your knowledge about comics, about the narrative. We want you to challenge us as well if we get it wrong, because we're not always right, but we banter back and forth because it makes healthy discussions. Opinions make the world spin, and at the end of the day, we are all friends. So I wanted to address that. It's not a space where we want people to basically feel like they're being bullied, but at the same time, again, you got to understand that what you're entering into when you're on this show and you're having a discussion and you have comments and you want to be heard, you got to understand that you're part of the discussion and we want you to be. And sometimes you got to put your big girl pants on, your big boy pants on, and be part of the discussion and make that rotation go around. So I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to keep that brief. Again, let's start the show. I got a great panel here, my brothers, everybody that's actually here with us tonight, and then I'll address the chat real quick. How you guys doing, man? Y'all good?
Good, man.
Good,
What's up?
Feeling great, man. So glad to have you guys here with us tonight. It's going to be a great show, great discussion. Cannot wait. Yeah, what's going on, Vinny? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I had a pretty awesome weekend. We did Black Adam on Friday. That was fun. We'll get into that obviously, but for starters, I loved it. So that was a great start to the weekend. And then Saturday was Horathon. So every year I have a big thing at Shindig at the crib, and throwing a surround sound and vibrate everybody out the seats and just
Yep,
put
yep.
on crazy, fucked up, what's wrong with you, Vinny type horror movies. And every year we have a blast, and it's always fun to get the crew together and shoot the shit and watch some great horror. So it's always a fun time. Another successful outing this year. So I'm had a great time this weekend with that. Sunday was pretty much just chilling and working on more Inktober's. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
Today is day 24, so 24 in the can, 7 more to go, and I'm just excited that I've been able to keep up pretty much, knock on wood, without getting too far behind. It's a part-time job keeping up with these, but I'm having fun, loving the feedback, and very humbled by all the love shown on the posts and stuff like that, and even got my girl drawing some, and like that's awesome, just seeing everybody getting the spirit of it, and just being creative
Girls
and getting
or
some
girls?
ideas from your head onto paper is always cathartic and fun, and that's
Mhm.
the whole point. So yeah, can't wait to dive in, talk some Black Adam and everything else we're gonna chop it up about. So feeling great.
Definitely. Definitely, man. So glad to have you here. Jedi Pimp, I know you was like popping your collar, bro. I know you was happy. I know you had been sitting back like straight up. I could just imagine, bro, like you have been on the ultimate high for a minute, bro. I know you've been feeling good. How you doing, brother?
Yo, you know that picture of Kobe holding the title? That was Jason. No, I believe it was Black Adam.
With a Superman sign, just holding it
Straight
like
up, bro.
I told
Straight
you.
up, bro.
I
just
told
just
you,
exhausted.
bro.
Just a
Between
jet, like finally,
listen,
bro.
listen,
You've been wondering why your
between
pants have been really
texting,
tight in the crotch for the last like week, haven't you? Yeah.
exactly. Between texting Brendan and calling Vinny and texting you like since Thursday night, like I've been like on an absolute DC high for about 3 or 4 days. I went to see the movie 3 times. I told Brendan, he said I was a psychopath for going for a third time, but I did.
No. Let's not say no. I'm not saying
You
he's a
did
psychopath
cuss
for
me
going to
out.
see the
When
movie 3 times. He's a psychopath for going to see the movie 3 times in the first 36 hours that it was in theaters. All right, let's put some context to this. Okay.
he did call me crazy. I give him that. He
Wow.
did.
Wow.
Bro, I had a great weekend, man. I was in
I
the
know
theater
you
all weekend. I had
did.
a ball.
I know you did,
I had a
bro.
ball,
I
man.
can only imagine that you
Man,
did, man. Straight up.
what
I
a
can only
great
imagine
weekend,
that you
dog.
did. Well,
Yes.
that's what's up, man. Well,
Can't
great to have you
complain.
here, bro. I can't wait
Yeah,
to
no doubt.
get into this discussion because it's going to be a great one. Last but not least, Brendan actually messaged me on Friday and was like, yo, did you see the movie yet? I was like, nah. He went to go see it. He was butt naked at the theater, everybody. So if you were
He
at that
was.
theater, you'd have probably seen it. But
We
anyway,
apologize.
It's very dark in there, so who's really gonna know? Who's to say?
but nah, man, what's going
Never
on,
eat out
bro?
of Brendan's popcorn bucket. Like,
Hell no.
That's
Hell
a
no.
whole different kind of movie.
Surprise, surprise.
Definitely surprise.
In a box.
Anyway, bro, how you doing, man?
Baby.
It's been this last, other than like being a little under the weather, which I know you are too. This has been a really good week. Got what has quickly become my favorite statue in my collection. In actually behind me, lights on there.
Oh, it had a flag to come with it too.
And dude, the flag is like part of the diorama, like behind it. And
Oh,
stuff.
that's so dope.
It's
That's
insane.
so dope.
To put it this way, like so. This is battle damage Thanos, right? All right. So battle damage Thanos, you can't even see because of the name on the bottom of the screen, but just goes to just above like above
Kenway's
Kenway's
chest or
knee.
something. Man.
So you'd have to put another one
Whoa.
right there. So it's 2 battle
that's
damage
dope.
Thanos 6 scales tall. It's 32
Wow.
inches tall. That's how big that thing is. It's ginormous.
That's dope.
So yeah, got that in. Been loving that. That's the Edward Kenway Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag from Pure Arts. So I picked that up. Saw Black Adam, which I think we all really enjoyed. I also managed to win some auctions for some books too, which was really fun, including I know all manner of like Dr. Doom keys in any title are shooting through the roof price wise right now because of all the spec with the MCU. So I had been trying to pick this book up for a while and finally grabbed Daredevil 37, first appearance of Dr. Doom in Daredevil. So that was a big win for me to finally snag that. And then just got a handful of slabs, got a 9.2 in issue 122 with Blackwing, 9.8 in the death of Karen Page. So loving that one. And then a 9.8 in Echo's third appearance. And I have her first 2 in 9.8. So that was awesome. And thank you, Lael. In addition to the David Mack signed prints that he picked up for me at NYCC, he sent those up. He also sent up the hardcover of Parts of a Whole, which is her introductory story, signed by David Mack. So I was very happy to get that. So thank you. And then
what else
followed
did you get?
that up.
What else did you get? Go ahead.
And then I followed that.
What else did I send you? What else did I send you?
He sent me 2 prints.
Wait, something lotion? Oil?
2.
He sent me 2 prints. All right, no, you really want to get into this because you're not gonna. I'm gonna win this one.
No. I sent you another print too, didn't I?
Let me see.
You sent 2 prints.
I ain't seen you 3.
Oh no, there was the third one that wasn't NYCC. It was about a year and a half in the making. I think it was Vinny's Miles Morales print, which is amazing. So I gotta get that framed along with others.
I'm glad you got yours.
David Mack ones. You still haven't sent Jason. See, he only sent. The only reason why I got mine.
Dude.
2 reasons.
I don't even ask no more, bro.
I'm gonna send it out. You know what?
It's because he had stuff from NYCC that he had to send me, and because Latoya was the one who actually shipped it all.
Yeah, she did.
I bet. I know.
You gotta go over his head. You gotta go over his head
for the picture and everything, dog.
Yo,
I
got
you. You got to go to the head of the household. You can't. You got.
Listen, no. As a matter of fact, because we sent it out, I'm gonna send it out tomorrow. I promise. I will send it out tomorrow.
I'm a message Toya on Messenger or something. Like, can you tell
you guys will all appreciate. You guys will all appreciate these. And I mean, Lael knows how big of a David Mack fan I am, and I actually already had these individually signed by David Mack, but I managed to secure double signed copies of one of my favorite Daredevil story arcs, Wake Up from Volume 2 by David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis. So these are all signed by David Mack and Brian Michael Bendis, which was really cool for me. And then I expressed my appreciation for these in my Instagram stories. And then Brian Michael Bendis messaged me and was like, that's awesome. Thanks for, so that was cool too. So yeah, they're class acts. And so it was just getting a lot of cool shit in and finally seeing a good, not just DC movie, but a good comic book movie. Cause it's been a little bit.
Period.
It was a good week.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we're going to definitely dive into that because like I said, I just don't want to hold back. But before we jump, address that real quick, we got my man becoming a new member of the actual channel, my man Benjamin E. Green. So thank you so much for basically becoming a member of the channel. You are definitely appreciated it, as always. My man H. Green in the building. We got Malika Mabane here. We got Marvel Less is in the building, which basically me and Marvel Less will be on. We got a new show basically called Rise and Chai. That's going to be on Thursday, where we're going to kind of bridge, the cinematic universe with collecting as well. So definitely is going to have that chat. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, we have her here as always. It's so good to have you here. We got the great Ren Talentino in the building. We got two greats right next to each other. You got Ren Talentino, you got Vinny out there, like two artists that need to do some mashups. I don't know what's taking them so long. They need to stop playing. We got Collector Joey in the building. We got Dingleberry Dingleberry in the building.
I'm sorry, did you just say you have dingleberries?
No,
Is that what
Dingleberry.
that's what I heard.
His name is Dingleberry.
Dingleberry in the
Dingleberry
building.
in the building.
Okay,
We got
we'll go
Prime
with
Time
Never thought I'd hear
Reviews.
that.
Toad Bar. My man Uncle Keith is in the building. Who else we got here? We got Mikey Lito is in the building. My guy Mikey, so good to have you here. Pure Stewage is here. We got let me see here. Brendan's out there as always. Let's see who else we have. Dale A is in the building. Aaron Anderson, Kate Carter is in the building. Thank you for being here. Philosopher King. Who else we got? Fat Boy Harley is in the building. Who else that we got out there? Eddie Rodriguez. We got my man Malika Mabane with a $5 super chat coming through as always, brother. Thank you for that. He says peace and love to all of the fellow superheroes. Thank you so much, man. Cool cat. Definitely got to get him on here. We got Calvin Williams is in the building. My man Cal is in the building. DJ is in the building. Who else we got out there? We got Willie Beast. We got my daughter, the one and only Skylar, is out there. Definitely. She went to go see Black Adam. She loved it as well. She thought it was fun. So definitely, we had a good time on Friday. Let me see here. We got First Locust in the building. What did Skylar say? She said, let's see here. If you're feeling genuine, please give this live a thumbs up for a happy early birthday to my old man. Oh, thank you so much.
Look at that. Looking out for her dad. That's what's
so
up.
much.
Indeed,
She always
happy
was
birthday, young man.
You didn't read that
raised
the
a
right
good
way.
kid.
She said, "Happy early birthday to my old man."
To my old man. Hey, I take that all day, baby. Thank you so much for that, sweetheart. Coming from my daughter, that just means the world to me, bro. So glad to have her here along this journey. That means so much to me, more than she'll ever know. Two Ferns is in the building. Who else do we have here with us? We got who else? Eddie Rodriguez is in the building. Man, we got quite a few people stopping through as always. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for actually being here with us, man. So again, we got lots to go over, but we're gonna start with Black Adam. We definitely got to start with Black Adam, bro, because I mean, again, I just want to say off the top, okay? My preface is this way. I want to definitely say this off the top. The expectations are expectations, and people have their own. Some people out there basically have expectations for a certain level or caliber of film. So when they go into it, basically they might expect to see a, Francis Ford Coppola or Martin Scorsese type of an actual film.
Exactly.
For me, I'm looking for a comic book film. I'm looking for like that hokey humor. I'm looking for action. I'm looking for everything that I want, a complete package. Was this film to me great, amazing, like over the top? It had its flaws. Every film does. But I'm gonna tell you, it was a palate cleanse for that dumpster fire of Thor: Love and Thunder, in my opinion, and also She-Hulk, in my opinion.
Exactly.
It was a great film, and on top of that, I think The Rock, I was surprised because he is a dope ass Black Adam. He killed it. He was fucking shit up, and I was happy to see it.
Yep.
I loved it, all hands down. I am so. Amber May is in the building too. Thank you for being here, Amber. But yes, definitely, it was an incredible. Listen, I had so much fun. I can't even Toya did. She's like, yo, we're gonna go see it again. We'll probably go see it again. It's our anniversary weekend, so we'll probably go see it sometime. I don't know when. But it so much fun. I had so much fun. Mikey Lito was like, it's certainly better than both of those. Definitely, Mikey. I'm right there with you, bro. Action, Del A action from beginning to end. Amber loved it. Like, bro, it was so many. That's the thing, bro. Okay, so this is why you should never trust a critic. literally never trust a
Mhm.
critic, because the critic rating versus the audience rating was different by far. And
By
and the
far.
thing is, it goes to prove that a lot of people went to see it for a particular reason, to have fun.
Mhm.
And it was even
Mhm.
beyond that post credit, beyond the post credit.
Mhm. Beyond that.
It was
Yep.
just a good all around. Like, it was so good to see the Justice Society. Dr. Fate, me and
Yeah,
Vinny
yeah.
lost our fucking minds
Yeah.
when we were
Yeah.
watching Dr. Fate. Like, literally, we lost our minds. I turned around and looked at Vinny. Vinny was like literally
Yeah.
speechless, because we got,
Yep.
for me, I got the Dr. Fate that I wanted to see,
That I
and it
want.
was
Right.
amazing. And the thing is, I know people were upset that he. Anyway, it's spoiler, because this is we talking spoiler talk, right?
No, I mean,
People,
if
I
they're
don't
here,
think
they
he's
know.
dead though, bro.
if they hear, then you already know.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody or some people were upset that he vanished in the end, he died. But again, he doesn't. If you
I don't
know
think
it
he's gone.
exactly, I don't. We know he's basically
not
not
dead.
gone. But yo,
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
movie, again, to me was dope. Besides the fact that
Mhm.
kid was annoying as hell to me, but besides that,
Oh, I'm about to talk about him.
but
Oh
but
yeah.
but for anybody who's basically, if you've read World War and you know that story with Black Adam and who that
Yep.
kid becomes and who that woman becomes, it made perfectly good sense. It really, really, really did.
ISIS.
Exactly. And Condon. So basically, literally, you know what it is. And I'm so happy that they did it that way. Vinny, I'm gonna start with you first, man, because we were both in the same theater, bro.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on it, and how did you feel about it, bro?
Well, I had mixed emotions going in, because Black Adam is he's one of my favorite DC villains. That it wasn't really until like kind of the modern era where he really got to shine. And I thought that even in the modern era, he's still been kind of underutilized. And it was frustrating seeing that it was just on the back burner for so many years. And then the way Shazam was set up, it didn't make sense for him to be in that either. So it was like, what are they even going to do? And then with the Rock, it's like he looked the role, but I was like, is he going to play it straight? Is he going to be making me smell, when I'm cooking jokes the whole movie? It's like I don't. It's like, so it's like I have no idea what to expect. And and DC, of course, DC has had such a tumultuous track record when it comes to films. And so that's been this, reason for reserve. And then this year, I mean, we've had a lot of misses as far as over the top comedy, with Marvel. So it's like, damn, even Marvel's tripping up. And so what can we expect from DC? And then I don't know, 10 minutes into the movie, he's ripping limbs from all over the screen. There's blood, and legs and arms are going flying, and I'm like, okay, we good.
Finally.
So I sat there enjoying the fact that, like Brendan mentioned, it's been a while since we got an actual, like, straight up just comic book film. It feels like it feels like it's been a minute since we've got a movie like this. Even outside of comic books, this felt not just like a comic book movie. This felt like a late 80s, 90s action film. There wasn't a super deep plot to take. It was very simple. It was very just focused on action. It felt like a old Schwarzenegger film. It was just bare bones, a badass anti-hero / hero, who it felt like I was watching Terminator 2. Like, you had a badass anti-hero, kind of like learning how the modern world works from a younger kid, and him just going around just kicking everybody's ass and not making jokes, just fucking being serious. And then the JSA was amazing too. I don't watch trailers, so I didn't even know about Cyclone. So I was fucking blown away by her. So I had no idea that she was in it at all. And as soon as I seen Red Tornado pop up, I was like, oh shit, Cyclone. And then she was fucking amazing. And slow-mo over the years has been like, but the way they did her, I'm just sitting there thinking, I want to paint that. I want to draw that. I want to paint that. It was fucking beautiful. Hawkman looked fucking amazing.
Bro.
He looked so great. he reminded me a lot of Anthony Mac's Falcon, though, but in a good way. Like he
Mhm.
really felt like a leader, and he
Mhm.
felt much different type of character than the old Thanagar type way, where it's just like just fuck shit up. They gave him more intelligence and leadership abilities, so that was refreshing. It was a change that was welcome to me. And then Dr. Fate. Multiple times
Yeah,
we looked at each
bro.
other like, yo, are we seeing this right now? Dr. Fate was putting in work, just doing all kinds of crazy dope shit. I love that they didn't shy away from it being a Doctor Strange-esque character, because I mean shit, Dr. Fate came first technically.
Fate
And
came first.
so
Yeah.
Dr. Fate was and Pierce Brosnan was amazing as him. I never felt like
Yeah.
I mean, I know that some people had issue with him having the helmet off, but I felt like when he did have the helmet off, it really sold just how important it was when he had the helmet on in the scenes that he was in. Adam Smasher was like, I could have done without it, but I get it. It was, that was the comic relief more than anything. But I'm happy that Adam Smasher was comic relief and not Black Adam. So I'll take that any day. And the villain was one of the most like amazing, awesome looking villains that we've seen. Like I'm sitting here for the past few years worried about, man, if they ever do Mephisto, they'll probably just make him a human because they don't got the balls to make a demon, a villain on film. And here they do that in this movie. They made somebody look like he came straight out of hell, literally. I loved it on so many different levels. I loved it. I felt like we were overdue for a more serious, not super serious brooding the whole time, but just a well-rounded, fun, feel-good action film comic movie that wasn't convoluted with tons and tons of, you need to have seen 10 years of TV shows and Disney Plus and movies to understand it. I felt like this was so engaging, welcoming, strong black characters from in JSA and Black Adam himself, Middle Eastern characters. Yeah, lots of representation. There wasn't a super strong, girl power, female presence. I don't know if that had anything to do with the reviews. I don't know, but I know that I personally don't ever put stock into website reviews like Rotten Tomatoes or IGN or any of that shit. That's absolutely just not even a factor when I think about if I want to see a film or not. So I don't understand the disparity, but I really don't give a shit that there is one. I loved it, and I told everybody who this is a movie that you want to go see. This is more like it, and for the state of being with DC has always been so, God, what the fuck are they thinking? It felt good to leave this film knowing that they have a better grasp of what they're doing, because so many DC films feels like they have to be grounded or they have to be comedies. And this was awesome that it wasn't embarrassed to be a comic book film. And that's rare for DC. They always feel like they have to like ground something or make it a comedy. And this was just, here's what it is. Enjoy it or not. And that's what they did. And I loved it. So, if you haven't seen it and you're watching this anyways, go see it. You'll love it.
And what I was impressed about, because I was like you, I went into it, before when they made the announcement that Pierce Brosnan was actually playing Dr. Fate. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh man, oh no, please. And knowing that, the suit itself, and I love Pierce Brosnan. I love Pierce Brosnan. I don't want to take that away from him. But Dr. Fate is an important character, extremely important character to the DC universe. And I wanted to basically see it done right. It was one of those situations.
Having him kill him, I feel like maybe they felt like he'd be tough to. They felt he was too powerful to keep around in future films. It's one of those. Well, if he's here, then
I don't think he's dead though, bro.
And that's the thing too. Like, first of all, he might not be gone, but second of all, if they did, it might have just been easier to write him out than to not have him save the day and everything. Because someone who's that powerful, it's just like, it's kind of like Marvel with Thor. It's like if there's a catastrophe happening in a movie, and you're always thinking, well, Thor could have, ended this movie 10 minutes in. So maybe they wanted to
Yeah.
avoid that. But what I
Nerf
don't
him
like though is
down.
they had the helmet disintegrate when they could have just had it on somebody's shelf and then wait till the helmet, calls a new host or something. But then again,
Yeah.
it might not have actually disintegrated. It might have
They'll
just
just say it was an illusion.
Yeah, they could say it was an illusion, or
Yeah,
that
that's
is
what I
just
think.
that's
That's what I
just the
think.
act of it going
Mhm.
back to
Yeah.
its dimension until it's ready
Naboo
to
or something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Mhm.
Mikey Lito, here's the thing, Mikey Lito, like you saying that, I sort of like, I definitely see where you're coming from. Because again, it's what I have to always think about, and this is what I think about. For me, I'm going to enjoy it because I'm looking at the simple fact that it's from a comic book, perspective.
Yeah, we all know.
I'm looking at that angle of it, that vantage point, not realizing that it is tough for people who aren't really comic aficionados or basically comic book enthusiasts to really follow a lot of what's going on based on the story. But the beauty of this, though, Mikey, is the simple fact that now that you see it, you can go back and look at some of the actual lore, some of the actual history, some of the things that are basically there. And here's the thing. This show is definitely about asking those questions. Like if there's things that you basically want to know, then we will answer it to the best of our ability. And if we can't, pretty much everybody out in the chat will do so as well. So
Lil, pull up
Mikey,
the next
thank you for
comment.
saying that.
Pull up the
Mikey,
next comment from
what you
All
say?
in the Game. The next
was
comment
that?
right after. Pull up the next comment right after Mikey's from All in the Game. Yeah,
What was it?
because that's something that I was gonna address anyway.
Hold on, what was this, Mikey? It's sometimes hard for comic aficionados to put themselves in the shoes of the casual general audience.
Yeah,
well,
I do all the time though because I'm always showing my mom or my friends or like my sister.
Same thing. I'm always like,
and I'm always thinking like, will they like this?
this?
And I sometimes feel like they can't. I sometimes feel like a movie like this with someone like Hawkman or Adam Smasher, they'll feel like they have to spend 20 minutes of the movie to explaining each of their backstories, where it's like sometimes a general audience member really doesn't give a shit. Like they get it. That's a dude that gets big. I don't need to know like how he got his powers. That dude has
powers,
armor.
right?
Like, all right, I get it. I've seen superhero movies before. I'm sure there's some reason. Every single character who's in a film, I think the general audience sometimes doesn't care as much as we think they do about the shit that we are worried about. So I feel like it could go either way. There's some people, who might be like, who the hell is Hawkman? I want to know what's going on with him. But then there's other people like, all right, I mean, I get it. I'm glad they didn't take time away from Black Adam to explain all these ancillary characters, in this film they were to Black Adam. I'd rather see more of him fucking shit up.
Yeah. But I get that though. And that's the thing is like, I want people, everybody, to basically make sure that you realize, that if you have questions, if there are certain things that you really, really need to know, then again, this is a platform to ask those questions. But at the same time, I think that door is open. It's the way these movies are structured, and some movies are structured, is that again, for not only just the casual, comic book fans, but then people like us. It'll even force us to go back and read source material, because there's a lot of things in the film that we got to basically make sure was either accurate or things that we might have missed or things that we even got wrong.
And you know what I mean? A film like this isn't tied to the Marvel way, where you build up a character then put them together. You could go backwards. You could put a bunch of characters in the movie and then say, wow, Hawkman, everybody loved Hawkman, and then them say, okay, great. Well, what if we do a Hawkman spinoff and do a movie about him? That is another way to do it. There's more than one way to do it, and I feel like this wasn't a mistake by putting in these new characters and then not really explaining them. Like I even said back in the day, like, man, they don't have to do all these, each Justice League character their own movie, then put them together like Avengers. They could just fucking give us a Justice League and you could just figure it out. The first Justice League cartoon episode, you didn't have to have, each one have their own show. They just put them in there and you got to figure it out as you went along. And then if one of them was popular than the other, then you go make that character's movie. There's so many different ways to do it. I love that they didn't feel like they couldn't do it this way and they just went for it.
I look at Mikey Lito. So I like what look what he did. So he said, Hold up. He says this. He says, my other problem, fellas, with the film is it was derivative based on the other comic book films. Example, the jet coming off the front of the mansion. But then he goes down and says, oh, by the way, gang up on me. I can Mikey
Oh man.
Yo,
But
I
he started
completely
shit.
agree with him about that. Like,
Yeah,
that,
I
that
agree.
shot-
Attack
bro.
Mikey.
I
Attack
agree.
Mikey.
Yes,
of
let's
the
get him.
jet
Let's get
coming
him.
out
That was
and
dope.
like
Funny,
the puzzle
bro.
pieces
Mikey
of
got
the
jokes.
balloon, that looked like shit.
Yeah,
That
they
was
didn't. They
some
shouldn't have did
just-
that, bro. They
And it
shouldn't
was
have did
just
that.
like
What, with the-
X-Men,
with the-
that was some
with the
shit.
jet coming
Come
out the
on,
front of the
come on,
lawn,
come
bro.
on. There's other mansions and other work. Come on, cut it
No,
out.
no,
Cut it
but
out.
do it better because it looked like a
Just-
video game.
It,
like,
it
the
not only
CG
looked like a
was trash.
video game, but it was in reference. Like seriously, bro. Like it was like if you seen, you know, something like that.
Y'all
was
gonna
done.
get off Hawkman's crib, bro. Y'all gonna
But
get off
no,
Hawkman's crib.
it's not. It's just, it's bro. They could have did something better with the
I
way
know,
they
I know,
presented
I
that
know.
actual jet. They could have
know.
did
It
that.
was, yeah, that.
I know,
that
I
was
It looked,
good.
it's because it was too closely related to an X-Men film, bro. So I definitely.
Well,
give
you
credit.
know, another thing too was the jet supposed to be indestructible. I laughed at that in the movie. Like
They did say it was
an
nth
indestructible jet.
metal,
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
That
is like
jet
a
got
little Easter egg
trashed.
It was,
for
it was
us,
cool
like,
just
comic
hearing
book
him
heads.
say it's metal.
yeah,
yeah, and metal.
Look,
Yeah,
This movie.
yeah. Go ahead, Brennan. Go ahead.
So I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoy this movie a
Yeah.
lot. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm as high on it as you guys are. And when talking about the critics and stuff, the funny thing is that if you read a lot of the critics, they call out a lot of the same stuff that fans called out.
Yeah,
They just interpreted or applied those metrics to
Yeah.
their final feelings of the film in different ways.
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
And a lot of
yeah.
times you look
Yeah.
at like critics, it's their job to go out and review. Occasionally you have ones that are like actual nerds, but otherwise like they review movies. And so
Mhm.
they're looking at it through a different lens
Yeah.
than we are.
Mhm.
I think this movie can be a little bit deceptive in that what Mikey and what All in the Game were mentioning about like being inaccessible or like you felt like you were missing something because you don't know all of the lore. I feel like this movie, because the plot was so simple, it was just so straightforward that
Mhm.
people without the comic book back knowledge felt like they were missing something important to understanding the film when they really weren't. Like there is backstory
Oh,
that
yeah, yeah.
obviously was not explored in this.
Mhm.
But none of it
Mhm.
is something that was really going to change your understanding of the plot in this movie because it's so
Mhm.
straightforward and simple. But I can understand how somebody without the years of comic book knowledge on that would think like, am I missing something? There's got to be something else because it was a
Yeah.
very basic, straightforward plot. It was that kind of, inch deep and a mile wide
Yeah.
type scenario. Now, I really, really did enjoy this movie. I think this showed, people were like, oh, it's always just, whatever movie he's in, it's just The Rock being The Rock in that movie. He was Black Adam in this movie. He wasn't throwing eyebrows.
Yeah, for the first
He
time.
wasn't cracking like tons of jokes and stuff. He wasn't
Right.
winking at women and doing like he was that stoic, like, just dark that character that Black Adam is in the comics. Okay.
Mhm.
So I think that showed that he really did a good job with this character.
Yeah.
As far as a lot of my issues with the film itself are more from the actual filmmaking side, not necessarily the incorporation of comics, except there's a couple of that. But like one, dude got to like pump the brakes when it comes to slow motion. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
there was way too much slow motion in this. Like, for a second, I was like, am I watching the Snyder cut? Did like Zack Snyder sneak in and fuck with the edit or something? Like, way too much slow motion that was unnecessary, and I felt at times actually slowed down the pace where I wanted it to ramp up a little bit more in some of those action scenes. So the slow motion, yeah, that wasn't good. Or there was just too much of it. There were certain times where it worked for effect, but then you got to move on. You can't just keep doing the same trick over and over again. I felt like 85% of the CG was on point. in this. It looked really good. The cinematography was great. It was actually Lawrence Sher who was the DP on the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. So I knew from jump that it was going to look good. The effects, like I said, for most of it was really good. There were just a couple instances like the jet, like the when he dives to save the kid from the bullet, which the kid was annoying, so you kind of want him to miss the bullet, but and they like lower the force field or whatever, and he goes through. That looked very much like a video game. That would like that moment right there stood out as not great. And then, as we often will disagree on this panel, I hated the look of Sabak. I thought he looked like a video game. I thought the CG was just not him looking more demon like. I did not like the CG. I thought the CG looked very fake, very video gamey, and it just pulled me out of that. Not to mention, I just think that like the actor and then the screen time and the way they did it, Sabak I think could have been a much better villain, a much juicier villain, and I feel like he was very forgettable, to be honest. You know, and that it's like, I mean, we all knew when they were not showing the face of the father in the beginning, like that's The Rock. The Rock's not the kid. Like that's Black Adam. Like the father is Black Adam. And why they were trying to hold that as like a reveal later, I didn't really like that, because I was like, I'd rather you acknowledge that early on and then explore Black Adam's pain and his struggle and the guilt over his son's death throughout the movie, rather than trying to leave it a mystery and then reveal it in the end when everybody already knew that was the case. And you could have actually gotten some really good character moments out of it throughout the film if you had just acknowledged it instead of trying to surprise people, because it didn't surprise people. And yeah, I mean, the kid was annoying. We all know that. But I just went through a list of things that I didn't like about this film. I still enjoyed the hell out of the film. Okay. I think they had, the pacing was great. The action was really good. I felt like this was Black Adam. I felt like it was true to his character. Dr. Fate, obviously a standout. I loved the dynamic with Cyclone and Atom Smasher. I thought the actors played really, really well off of one another. I think I loved the running joke, you and me with Hawkman and Atom Smasher every time he accidentally hit Hawkman or something. I really liked that. A couple of the things that story-wise that I wish they had explored a little bit more. I understand that you don't have all the time in the world to really devote to delving into that. But like when Hawkman says, I don't fear death, I don't fear dying, he's not just like, I'm swinging a big dick. I'm not afraid of anything. It's because he knows it's rebirth, reincarnation. And that's that's an integral part of his character. So I would have liked a little bit more than that, rather than it just kind of seeming like a macho thing. The other thing was Dr. Fate. I felt like when he makes that sacrifice, which we all figure he's probably going to come back, but when he makes that sacrifice, and Hawkman is trying to get through that magical barrier and try and not let him sacrifice himself, I feel like that would have, the emotion of that moment and that sacrifice and how much it pained Hawkman would have sold a little bit more and would have been a little bit more powerful if maybe we trimmed back an action scene or two and actually maybe had give me a 4 to 5 minute scene with Hawkman and Dr. Fate where they're talking about reminiscing about something about that gives a little bit more of their past together and their friendship, that bond that they've had. So it really sells how much it's going to hurt Hawkman to lose him later on, especially knowing that Hawkman can be reborn, but Dr. Fate can't. So, at least within the context of this singular film. So I thought that could have sold a little bit more as an emotional beat that would have elevated the film even more. But again, that, I understand that they can't fit it all into this one movie and that the focus needed to be on Black Adam. I get that. I absolutely love Sarah Shahi, and I will watch anything that I've been a fan of hers for years. For one, the woman is just stunningly beautiful, like slack jawed, like she's just gorgeous. And she's such a good actor. She was great on Person of Interest back in the day on CBS. She even had a USA show, Fairly Legal. Like, she is a really good actress. And I hope that we get to see more of her and, the kind of, and that family grow. You got the Black Adam family, at the Shazam family, and let's see, where that takes us. So I definitely hope we get to see more of her. Yeah, I think this movie ultimately, for all of its flaws that I just listed, like, it was still fun. It was still enjoyable. You still felt like this is a fun comic book action movie that didn't just slap, comic book fans in the face for the decades of books that they've enjoyed. It was like, all right, look, this isn't going to be like a deep, introspective kind of film. This is going to be a fun popcorn comic book action movie, just like there are issues of comic books that it's like, look, this one isn't crazy deep. This is just going to be splash pages of just like balls out action, and it's going to be fun. And that's what this movie was. And it gives us the opportunity to explore him in the future, because now that they've done this and they've shown, okay, this is going to work. Now I think they're going to have more leeway to really dive into the character, to dive into that ethos that, his family, Shazam's family, Superman, all of that. So I think that there's a lot of potential there now that they've shown that this movie was a success, and Black Adam is a character that they can bank on, and The Rock is an actor that they can bank on. I think we're going to get more. There are some questions that need to be answered out of this. Like we saw Harcourt, from Peacemaker. So she's back in Amanda Waller's good graces. But then there's also Amanda Waller was kind of outed as a pretty bad person and outed Task Force X in Peacemaker season 1. So does this take place before Peacemaker season 1? Because the Justice Society is on good terms with Amanda Waller. So I'm wondering if this takes place before season 1 of Peacemaker, or if maybe season 2 of Peacemaker is going to fill in some information about what happened leading up to this movie. I don't know.
I think it's after, though.
It could be after.
It could be. They're just going to have to explain, because
you wouldn't think that the Justice Society
in between.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't think the Justice Society would be all, gung ho to work with Amanda Waller after how she was outed in season 1 of Peacemaker.
Yeah. I don't know, or maybe that again, we're dealing with the simple fact of a lot of information was kept secret because of her affiliations with someone on the level of, and on top of that, where actually her relationship with Peacemaker, and knowing what she had them do. But I don't know. We'll see.
We gotta say about that.
It could also be like a soft reboot. Or
exactly, it could.
That's true.
Supposed to be seen as something. I mean, there's much bigger plot holes that will probably come about how they go forward. And Rock did say something about this being like the start of the phase 1 of DCEU, as if there hasn't already been a phase 1. But
yeah.
But just the fact that we even care about that kind of like those questions being answered shows that at least we're moving in the right direction, and that they're getting fans to actually be excited about this again, versus before it was just like
another
exactly. So Jason, now everybody out there, I just want to warn you again, we're talking about this. It's full on spoilers, so if you're here, then you're ready for it. And you're ready for it. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then this isn't the place you want to be. But if you want to be spoiled, it is all day. Jason, so
yes, sir.
Yeah, brother. I want to bring something up here real quick, because I know and I felt that in the theaters, well, you already knew. See, you already knew. It was nothing that but just the pure excitement when you were in the actual theater. When this took place. I mean, I guess that bodes well to the simple fact that you actually seen this 3 times within 38 or 36 hours. So your thoughts on the film leading up to this point?
I went in. I learned something from you guys a while ago that when you go in to see comic book films now, I go in with low expectations. I don't even go in with any expectations at all on how good the movie is or what's going to happen or blah blah blah. So that's how I went in the first time I watched it. Like just went in like, okay, well, if it sucks, at least I'm going to see it or whatever. I get to see Black Adam, blah 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 blah. And I went in like, oh God, well, you know what? It'll be another Rock movie. He'll do the people's eyebrow. He'll do the people's elbow to somebody at some point. I went in just like that, like just low expectation. Man, after the first like 6 minutes, I was going. I said, this film is unbelievable. The cave scene when they first let him out of his imprisonment. Oh my God, like the ruthlessness. Like I was like, whoa, this is Black Adam from the comics.
Yeah.
Like he gave no F's at all, bro. Like the one time he didn't even know he pulled the guy's arm off. He was holding the guy and he was fighting somebody else on the other side. Then he looked around and saw the guy's arm and just threw it. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Yo.
Quick. And we as audience members, when we were watching it, didn't even know that shit happened because it was so quick.
I was screaming and yelling. My wife was like, "Oh my God, what is going on? What is all that?" Like that's it. They just sit back, watch.
It took them multiple cuts to get this movie down from an R rating because they had
that's what I heard.
Like, deaths and stuff that they had to, which makes me want to see that. Like
I want to see the R-rated version. Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, we all
listen. To see a character like that at his power scale, and I think they nerfed him down a little bit. Like that's not even his real power scale, which is crazy. But it's like I loved it, man. I had my little qualms. That little boy got on my damn nerves. The little boy got on my nerves. The whole X-Men mansion backyard thing. I was like, oh God, we're gonna hear about that one forever. And then my only complaint about his Black Adam portrayal is somebody did an edit. I don't know if it was Boss Logic. Somebody put it on their page. They had him with the hair and the ears. Yeah. Yo, if he would have did that, he would have been flawless.
He should at least have the ears.
And then, man, listen. And then even when he had the flashback, did you guys peep that they showed like the OG Black Adam in the shadows? Did you see that? You gotta watch it again, bro.
Oh yeah,
when they had the flashback.
Yep.
Of his son.
Right.
Yeah, you see the ears and the hair in the shadows.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was his son. Okay. I was like, oh shit. But I have my only complaints are minimal. The hair, the ears, the little boy, and the X-Men backyard, I think is it. I do want to know a little more, like I think what Brendan was saying about that history between Hawkman and Dr. Fate. Like show a flashback of the old team or something like that would have been cool. Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of that, whatever. But other than that, man, I mean, I loved it, bro. Even before the post credit. I mean, I screamed that in my mind during the post credit. Like I embarrassed my whole family, like yelling. I was like, I said popcorn, yeah, like at the top of my lungs. And I embarrassed everybody with me. I did, but they still love me. Thank God.
As Beam says, my only issue with the end credit scene was they used the Williams theme. Cavill should have had the Zimmer music, but that's just me.
I had no problem with it. Because even in Justice League, they played a little bit of Williams when he was fighting the Justice League. So I didn't have a problem with that.
I think the theme, like I understand what people are saying, like Henry Cavill started in the role under Zack Snyder and Zimmer did the like I get that.
I get it. I like that theme too. So
I think
there's one theme that's like that's symbolic of Superman.
Right,
it's Williams.
And they're trying, like they were saying he's our Superman. Like there was all this question, it was up in the air. They're definitively saying, no, Henry Cavill is our Superman. That is the iconic Superman. And it's like, he gets that now. Like, it's his now.
Yeah.
Like, he gets to be the torchbearer for that now.
Yeah.
And I think it's also showing it's not a slight to Zack Snyder and what
At all.
he did with the character or
Yeah.
his kind of, the genesis of the DCEU that he helped. It's more saying, look, I think it's like Warner Brothers Discovery saying, look, we're serious about this. We're serious about Henry
Right. That's
Cavill
how I
as
saw it.
Superman. We're serious about the DCEU moving forward, and we're putting respect on it with with Williams' score. That's that iconic thing. I think that's I think this was a signal. This was like, he's our guy.
That's how I took it.
And he's not just here for this. This is where we're going.
Long
and I think
haul.
that's what they used that for. And I'm okay. But the other thing too is not many people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's Hans Zimmer's, Superman. Like,
you're right.
But people are going to know.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. That.
Listen, everybody knows John Williams, man. Everybody knows John Williams.
Definitely,
man.
they.
I appreciate it.
You get goosebumps when you hear that and you see him go down, and that's what they want. People would have been excited to see Henry Cavill, but you wouldn't have had the goosebumps before he came down if it weren't for that theme. Hans Zimmer's theme wouldn't have done that.
Look, when you want to tease the mutants, you don't use the Singer 2000 score. You use
exactly. You use the
cartoon
animated show.
Exactly.
And that's what they did in Ms. Marvel to get people hyped.
When
Bryan Singer,
if they would have used Singer's score, then people would be like, "What's that?"
It wouldn't have felt the same,
bro. Wouldn't know what it was.
It wouldn't have felt the same, bro.
It wouldn't have had the same. Yeah,
No,
it definitely
bro.
wouldn't have had the same vibe.
No,
you know what I mean.
Hearing that John Williams score in the background took me all the way back till I was like 8 years old in the theater, bro. Like, I mean, it took me back. And then seeing the curl, I was like, oh god, I'm done.
Definitely,
I'm done.
Can you? So, do you want to? Okay, I'm gonna leave it to y'all because I want y'all to answer this question. I'm just gonna shut up. I mean, I want to say something, but I'm not. Answer this question.
This actually, Lael. So this
he has beat Black Adam.
This question, and then go to Mikey Lito's question that he just posted.
Yeah.
That says, now a serious question about the mid.
Wait. Answer this
because it's
first.
tied.
Okay.
Well, he has beat Black Adam.
They're tied together. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, what can I expect from a battle between Superman and Black Adam that I didn't get from Superman versus Zod?
Man,
it ties to this because Black Adam's powers are based in magic. And magic is the weakness that Superman has.
But this gives him a chance. But see, Soups usually comes out on top.
Soups is gonna win. But Black Adam will give him a
trust.
Exactly. Expect Godzilla versus King Kong, where King Kong gets his licks in, but Godzilla comes out on top, and then they team up to fight somebody else.
But see, this DCEU version of Superman has a resistance to magic, I think, because you look at Justice League when the lasso, one of them used a lasso on him to try to make him chill out when he grabbed it. Once the lasso touches, you're supposed to tell the truth. He's supposed to tell you under the spell of the lasso.
But the lasso
didn't
is not
affect him
considered
really.
magic. The
It's
lasso
not-
is
it's-
considered
Yes, it is. It's made by
lasso
Aspecia.
is power from a demigod. That's not considered magic in this. They classify it differently. Just like Hercules. Right, just like Hercules, just like Ares, they're not considered magic. Okay, they're considered gods and demigods.
You also have to look at magic. Isn't even in the comics? It's not exactly the same as kryptonite. It's not a weakness. It's just a susceptibility.
It's just he has a resistance to it.
Yeah.
It has a chance of
one. I guess basically one aspect of how he almost died and how he almost was killed by magic is in if anybody who's basically read Kingdom Come, when Shazam literally almost killed him. Almost killed him. Like could have killed him if he didn't stop. You know what I mean? Because he could have killed him. You know how much I don't care how much resistance he had at that time. He was on the verge of dying at that point because of Shazam. And
it's like Vinny said about Godzilla and King Kong. It's like
Kong get his licks in,
even
but
though
we all
I'm
know
for King Kong, because I like
King
Kong is going to get his licks in, but eventually Godzilla.
We all know
Godzilla takes control. Then they team up to fight somebody else. So the interesting element beyond just the spectacle of those two going at it with some great action sequences and stuff on screen
Mhm.
Beyond that,
Mhm.
it's the interesting part of it is where that battle takes them on a character journey, like
Yeah.
how they come to blows, how they reconcile, what threat do they face that makes them kind of turn and realize that they need to work together.
Mhm.
What losses do they suffer on a personal level leading up to that? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about the character conflict, not who can
Mhm.
win the fight, because
Mhm.
they're never going to have Superman lose for good. That's
No,
just
hell
never going to
no.
happen. So it's
No.
about the character journey and the development and the emotion that they go through
Mhm.
in that film leading up to and then after the conflict and where it goes from there. That's the interesting part.
Mhm.
Just
Well.
like whether people agreed with it or not, the
Mhm.
battle between Superman and Zod was cool
It's totally
visually in
different.
Man of Steel, but
Yeah.
it's more, and this is what I wish we would have been able to explore and seen in movies after Man of Steel, like
Uh-huh.
Man of Steel 2, before we went to the Justice League, him dealing with the
Right.
fact that he broke one of his own rules and that he hated,
Killing somebody.
himself for doing it, but he
Yeah.
killed Zod. It's
Yeah.
those character
Mhm.
and emotional moments that we want to see more of, and
Mhm.
that's what makes Superman a great character when he's
Yeah.
written the right way.
Yeah.
It's not about,
Yeah.
oh well, nobody
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
beat him. It's about how do you live with your decisions and how
Mhm.
that affects
And
you in the world.
I like this.
and again,
Well,
the
you
simple
know.
fact that Superman himself, he so Clark himself, okay, put it this way. The weakness of Superman himself is, if you look at it from a certain aspect, is Clark, because of Clark's
It's
morals
Clark.
as well. That's
Exactly.
his weakness
Right.
because of the actual morals, and he holds himself back. He's
He
always
nerfs
held
himself
himself
big
back. He
time.
nerfs himself.
Mhm.
So he's
Yeah.
been on the
Mhm.
verge of dying so many times because he has
Mhm.
held himself back.
And that
Hell
was
But
the
back.
there,
whole
but
Right.
premise for
but
the nightmare future in Zack Snyder's, is that
exactly,
he's this
Right.
all-powerful being essentially,
yeah,
but
Mhm.
loss
Yeah.
of Lois, it's the
It'll
emotional, it's
hurt.
the
It kills
human
him.
side
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
lead to him destroying himself and everything
Yeah.
around
Destroying
him.
everything.
That's the
yeah,
interesting part of the
Mhm.
character.
I'm excited
definitely.
for the scale of the fight, because one of the things that this film did that I was really excited for was when he was in that bike chase scene. They're fighting and they're
Country to
going at
country,
such
bro.
mock speeds, right? By the time the
Right.
fight ended, they were in Asia somewhere,
In
and that
Thailand, bro.
was so
Yeah.
like beautiful to
Yeah.
me, because think about how many times
Yeah.
we've seen Superman fight somebody who has super speed, and they're fighting all over the place, and they're going mock speeds and flying so fucking
Well.
fast, and then they're yet still downtown. It's like,
And
how are
it,
you?
it means,
How,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
how
Well,
are you
if you
not wound
think
up
back,
at least in
right.
in the middle of the country or something? Like, how are you still
Well.
in this downtown? Like, it's only a
Mhm.
10-mile radius, and you're flying at Mach speeds or almost the speed of
Mhm.
light, and you're still at the same spot. I love that
Well.
fight wound up way the hell in another country.
Freaking
That was
Thailand.
amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It
But
just
see,
it goes back to
if
why
you
the hell
think
did they at least try to take that fight with Zod somewhere else. So I'm
Mhm.
excited to see
somewhere else,
that
yeah.
fight.
Well, see.
I think the bigger hurdle that they have is like, how do you go from this big prize fight with Superman to then finally having him fight Shazam? It feels like it's going to be tough to like sell that as, oh man, I can't wait to see him fight Shazam after you just had him fight Superman.
Right. I think we talked about that this weekend too. Because we were
Yeah,
This
saying
is-
like,
I mean, because
if Black Adam,
obviously you
This is-
couldn't have put him in the first movie or the
Hell
second,
no.
because
we talked about
the
that.
way
Yeah.
that he's written in the first movie is he's still
Yeah.
way too green. Like Black Adam, and
Yeah.
Black Adam gets his powers and it's like instantly
Bro.
like a fucking death machine. But when Shazam gets,
Listen.
when Billy gets his powers,
Still a
it's just like,
goofball.
oh cool, like let's make
Yeah.
TikToks about it. It's
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
different way that they went about getting their powers,
Dude.
and it's like eventually Billy will realize how dangerous and how good he can be, but I don't know how long that's going to take on screen
Yeah.
to get to the level where he'd have
Listen.
to be at to even put up a fight against Black Adam.
If Black Adam would have been in that first Shazam movie, he'd have been dead. He'd have killed Billy, bro. He'd have killed him. There's no way they could have had Black Adam right now would have been in the Shazam from a couple of years ago, he'd have killed that boy. You know what I'm saying? And then, I just think, the way they did Black Adam for this movie was perfect. Like, it's just, I can't wait to see the fight on the screen with him and Superman.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one.
That's
To
not
all
to
the
say
games
that
question,
Black
I
Adam
had-
won't lose to Superman
Right.
because, like,
He's
somebody
right.
in the chat had said, like, oh, if The Rock's producing this movie, then he ain't gonna lose. Look at his Fast and Furious contract. The Rock has even said, the way he described this leading in, he's like, well, Black Adam is
The most powerful
is the
man on the
strongest,
planet.
is the most powerful
on the planet.
force on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to bring in the most powerful
Superman, the most
force
powerful in the universe.
He's flat out
He
said
said
Black Adam is this, but
Right.
and because people were asking him who'd win in a fight, Black Adam or Superman, and he even said he's like, well, Black Adam's the most powerful force on the planet.
On the planet, right?
Superman's the most powerful in the universe. So so he's even acknowledged that, like, look. He's not taking, when he said changing the hierarchy of the,
he's not taking nothing.
He's not
Superman.
taking the top spot, but he's bitch slapping all the rest.
Oh
from
yeah,
two down.
Vinny,
and he was telling himself.
Vinny, can you answer this question?
Yeah.
On
the game, I asked, have you talked about why Hawkman bugging about Black Adam killing when in this universe the Justice League all kill? When I talked earlier about they made Hawkman less of a savage, more intelligent and a leader, that was a huge deviation of character for Hawkman. It's one of the things that kind of bugged me, but I feel like it's like they wanted to put Hawkman in this movie, but if they left him as is, he'd be too similar to the type.
He'd be a savage.
He'd be too similar to the type of person that Black Adam is, and it'd be kind of like mirror images of each other, because Black Adam is kill first and like God sort him out. That's Black Adam. Like, there's a infamous scene in one of the Justice League's books with whatchamacallit, with what was Flash's with Cisco's character in the comics. What was his name? Reverb, not Reverb, but
you talking about
what was his name?
Vibe.
Vibe was sitting next to Hawkman and at the Justice League meeting, and Hawkman is just covered in blood, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Not my blood." And then you see Vibe just like it's over, like, "Yeah, I want nothing to do with this guy. This guy's."
But you got to remember that the death toll, like that we'd be like, oh, when Batman like drove the fucking tumbler, like the Batmobile, and just crushed motherfucker.
Batman
like,
kills.
Yes,
kills,
but like their kills
Hawkman
weren't they were public to us as the audience, but they weren't really public to like the whole world. They were done, against parademons or against like bad guys in like BVS or like
it was really
where
weird.
There weren't television cameras and everything following that.
Yeah,
so,
bro, people were so shocked.
Yeah, I think
about
in the context,
BVS
they
Batman,
were there in kind of the capacity of Avengers or Justice Society, where they couldn't just do whatever because there was cameras. Kind of like Black Panther definitely would have killed Killmonger if he wasn't on the streets. With all those people. Not Killmonger, but Claw. If there wasn't all those cameras on them, and that's something that they'd rather have their kills like off screen and not make it as public. So I feel like maybe that was just because it would have been bad publicity more than anything. But this was definitely a toned down, more PR corporate Hawkman than what we're used to in the comics. The Hawkman that we're used to in the comics would have no.
He's a warrior all the time. Thanagarian warrior. He's a general in Thanagarian army. Like
Hawkman is like a damn murderer. He's not worried about
But shout out to you all in the game for having a really good avatar there with the wire. I like that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's definitely like a tweak on that character, which is like really interesting because it added a different aspect to him. And who knows, we may see if they do a Hawkman movie or show or something.
I think we'll get a spinoff of Hawkman and Fate.
Yeah, but they needed a point of conflict between him and Black Adam. They had to have diametrically opposed ways of doing things.
Right.
Because if you didn't have somebody who was super opposed to what Black Adam was doing, then you don't have conflict for Black Adam until Sabak shows up at the end.
Exactly.
Which again, I think that could have been better, but they needed a conflict, and until they were going to have him fight Sabak, he had to be conflicted with the JSA.
Right. Well, I think Vinny said earlier about showing how they fly from like continent to continent, and Man of Steel they did that. because when he first started flying, I think he was in like Antarctica first, and he ended up in Africa in like 6 seconds. Then he ended up in like, and then when they used the Earth, what is the change engine? He went from the Indian Ocean back to Metropolis. Like, I love that aspect.
They didn't keep that logic when he was fighting, though. That somehow when they're fighting,
he
should have got him out the city.
Yeah,
should have got him out of the city. Yeah,
yeah. When they're fighting,
I agree with that.
They would keep that same logic, but now let's.
Mike Alito asks.
Well, Superman was still green then too. You got to think about that. Man of Steel, he was still kind of green.
So yeah, he asks a good question here. I do think that we might see Black Adam show up in Shazam, but I do think
I think so. Yeah,
I think it will be a post-credit scene.
Post-credit, yeah.
That they either filmed very recently or are going to film now that this has been a big success. And drop it in there. So whether it was done 6 months ago or it's going to be done like a month from now, I don't know. But I would expect that we'll see a Black Adam,
or do you think
post credit?
Do you think though, or do you think that maybe we don't see him and we actually see Cavill show up and ask him for a favor?
I think it would.
That'd be good too.
I personally would go
either or.
I personally would go with The Rock and Black Adam, just because they already at the end of the first Shazam did the tease with Superman, even though it wasn't Cavill and you didn't actually see him. We've seen, not Cavill, but still Superman come and sit down at the lunch table at the end of Shazam. We've seen Superman and Black Adam. I want to get a tease of Black Adam and Shazam. I want to see the Rock and Zachary Levi. I mean, maybe you have Superman in there too, but I think, now that Black Adam is in this world, and you even saw, the wizard in, the beginning of this film, it ties together. I want to see Black Adam in a post-credits or mid-credits scene or some sort of cameo with Shazam.
Trimble Dust, I'm so glad you asked this question. That is a dope-ass question because in a sense, yes, they were sort of teased. They were teased in a way that they were basically teased, especially clearly off the beliefs. They looked at him as if, again, and what she specified was he's willing to do what no one else will. You know what I mean? He is our protector. And they've already basically established a relationship between the three of them. And also the threat in the end by Amanda Waller of him not going outside of Condom. So we already know that he is officially the protector. He will do anything that he can to protect that world. But at the same time, the relationship is established. My only thing is, I don't know if they're going to go down that dark road with those particular characters, especially what happened to him and the reason what happened to them and the reason why he flips the fuck out. So I don't know if they're going to go down that road because that's dark. That's some rated R shit. That's NC-17. But again, I don't think that they'll do that. But yes, to answer your question, it has been.
They could do a variation of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see them going full tilt.
Yeah, because that shit would be crazy. Definitely crazy.
I like that they didn't do it in this film. I had them give him powers to help. Like it made Shazam seem kind of weak in his first film, even though it's straight out of New 52 Shazam. I'm glad they didn't do that for Black Adam. Save that.
Mikey Lito said, would you be upset if Zaslav's crew reshot the soup scene in the first Shazam film to show Cav's head?
Well, they would never do that because they're not going to spend money to do something that is not going to make them more money.
Yeah.
Now, so they're especially with how Zaslav has been swinging that axe and trimming the fat over at DC and Warner Brothers, so they would never do it. But I mean, if they did, whatever, I'd be fine with that. if we're you can't look at something like that like the special editions and recuts of Star Wars. Like that's not it. You're still taking the exact same scene. It's just we see his face, which we all just kind of wanted it to be him anyway. Not like going back and tinkering with something that we're like, no, leave it alone, leave it alone. So it would never happen, but I don't think it would bother anybody if it did.
Yeah. This is a good question too. Who wants to take this one?
No. Oh shit! Fuck it. Someone off topic. Do you think that like Marvel will lean into the anti-hero stuff with Namor, like Black Adam, or they portray him as a straight up villain? I think that the best way that Namor is usually portrayed is as anti-hero, because like so many different times we see the villain is right in their own mind. There's not that many Namor stories where he's like out and out straight up a villain, and if they do that with this film, I think that it's going to be tough anyways, because he's not. I don't want to get into a whole Black Panther thing, but he doesn't have T'Challa to have that heated rivalry. I'm sure they're going to have some kind of conflict that will make him seem a villain because you're there to see a Wakanda movie, and they're going to be the protagonist, and I'm sure there's going to be some kind of misunderstanding that's going to make them have to fight or something like that. But I don't
even think he's going to be an anti-hero.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be an anti-hero.
I don't see it.
I definitely don't see him being a villain. And even if down the line, if we get T'Challa versus Namor, I still don't think it winds up him being a villain. Like, if they're going to do that with Namor, I think that they will not start off with villain, and I think they will have him be on the fence. Namor is usually like really ambiguous, so I don't think that they're going to do villain turned into hero or hero turned into villain. I think he'll always just be going to the beat of his own drum, and depending on your perspective, like you can kind of interpret it how you want. But the way the story is told, it might seem like he's a villain or a hero based on what's going on. But if they write it well, Namor usually does things that are unconventional. So, but when you stop and think about it, it's like, all right, well, that kind of makes sense. So
they'll make him a dick at some point.
Yeah,
they'll
definitely.
make him a dick.
Yeah.
He's not going to be an anti-hero. He's not going to be like a Black Adam or Punisher or anything like that. Like, he's going to be. There's going to be a conflict between him and Wakanda.
I don't know. I think that that's kind of close to what we may see. I don't think that Namor's going to show up and just start killing people as viciously as Black Adam, because Marvel is in DC are going for two different things here. But I definitely see Namor, possibly being brought in as an anti-hero. And I mean, I haven't seen the trailer, so we'll see.
With this movie, honestly, I don't see him even being an anti-hero. I think there's going to be a conflict.
That's going to be a misunderstanding conflict or something.
Between him and T'Challa, the T'Chalan Empire and Wakanda, and then eventually, so there'll be some scuffles, there'll be some battles, but I don't. He's not going to be doing anything outright villainous or even anti-heroic. And I think then eventually, it's kind of like that King Kong and Godzilla. They'll clash a bit. And then they're going to turn and realize that they need to work together toward the main threat of the movie, which we don't know what it is yet. And a lot of people are even saying that maybe we don't even see him, but maybe whatever the main threat is being orchestrated by Doom behind the scenes, and we just don't see him until the end. But I don't think he's going to be the anti-hero at all.
But that leads into being an anti-hero based on how you tell the story, though, because you could look at like even M'Baku being an anti-hero in the first one, when all he was doing was what he thought was right. But
fighting for his kingdom,
you're there to see T'Challa, and you see somebody come out and challenge him and then fight him. It's like, and then also be good in the movie and have morals. It's like, to an average viewer, that could be seen as being an anti-hero, because
I think that's
going against what the hero,
Godzilla's not or King Kong's not the anti-hero in Godzilla versus Kong.
You got two heroes going at it.
But it's just two characters that happen to have conflict.
Yeah, but this isn't Namor versus Black Panther. This, it's not his film. If it was, this was a Godzilla film, and King Kong showed up and started fucking him up because he
Right, but it would be different if we
it would
had
be anti-hero.
T'Challa, but we don't have T'Challa. That's why
I'm
don't
saying
think
that
he's
from a
the
storytelling
anti-hero.
perspective, you could be seen as an anti-hero. Even
He's going to be somebody's antagonist, man. It's got to
But
be
here's
some
the-
kind of
here's my
conflict.
thing.
There's going to be conflict, but I don't think
Here's
he's
my
going to be a
thing, though.
traditional anti-hero.
Here's my thing.
Mhm.
He has an agenda, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is like
He has
there-
something going on.
I think
Mhm.
I think that he is going to. It's the same thing as Killmonger. He has a certain level, as he has a point of view, point
Yeah.
of view, that kind of aligns itself with his people. So to
Mhm.
his people, he's a hero. To
Mhm,
us,
mhm.
and how our perception, or other people's perception, may be is that okay, yeah, he's somewhat of an anti-hero, and
Mhm,
other people
mhm.
they're going to be like, nah, he's a villain. You know what I mean? So
But
there's
see-
different vantage points to look at that particular character. So for us, we may view it and say, some of us may view it and say, yeah, I don't think he's going to be an anti-hero. Some of us may see,
Yeah.
well, maybe I think he probably will, because
Mhm.
here's the thing: when I look at Namor, I look at a person that basically has an agenda. But if you also read some of the comments and some of the things that he said, even in the
Mhm.
trailers, which I'm not going to
Mhm.
say because, like I said, Benny hasn't seen them yet.
Vinny's here.
Some of those things basically would be perceived as if, okay, he is somewhat or could be an anti-hero, but when you hear later iterations, it's like, okay, he might be somewhat of a villain, but we know he's not the main villain of this film.
And we're
that.
also going to get the same questions that we got for the members of the JSA with the Black Adam movie. Oh, who was this guy? Who's that guy? When they see Namor hasn't been in the limelight for Marvel and any other movies. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see this guy with the wings on his feet and the ears. Like, who the heck is this guy? For the regular, for people that don't do the comics. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be like, yeah, who's this guy?
It's just gonna be funny as fuck on the screen.
So I don't know. I see him as he's gonna have some kind of conflict. It's gonna be some kind of antagonist that's going on between him and Wakanda. They're probably gonna have to work together and deal with, like Brendan was saying, something that dooms it off behind the scenes. That's how I see it.
And Tremble Dust is right. He probably will be a dick and also will try to cut Sue Storm's cheeks, no doubt.
Hey, that's it.
Okay,
I see it.
So real quick, we got All in the Game, who basically said this hot take. Aldous Hodge would have been would be better served as Jon Stewart in the universe, in my opinion, leading his own franchise as opposed to Hawkman. I mean, the thing is, the setup for Hawkman as well. Like, I mean, even though he's with the JSA, he
Hawkman's a deep character, bro.
He's a deep character.
I think Hawkman is a better character for Hawk.
Yeah,
to be
for
honest.
him,
I really
definitely.
Yeah, because of the richness of the story is that, again, like reincarnation, he has been everywhere
for years.
Everywhere through time.
Yeah.
So to basically go back and tell those stories historically through time, it'd be interesting to see that. It would be interesting to see where he got his wealth. You know what I mean? Because again, his wealth comes from the simple fact that he is an incarnate and he's intelligent. You know what I mean? So I love, that aspect. He's been exposed to so much. I mean, even though in this film, the iteration of Hawkman was beast mode, like he was getting busy.
Yeah,
we know in the books, there ain't no way in hell he could have dealt with Black Adam like that. Hell no. But in this, he was getting busy. But come on, man.
Yeah.
I will say unequivocally, man, the trailers for this movie did not do it justice, because those trailers, to be honest, kind of sucked. I didn't vibe with them at all. And the Black Adam movie was way better than the trailers let on. There were scenes in the trailers that didn't make it into the movie that I was glad. Like, I felt like there was a scene in the trailers where, like, a jet pulls up next to Black Adam and he like punches it and just like swipes it down and stuff. And I felt like that was kind of like a poke at like when the jets, came up on Tony, and Iron Man and stuff. But it was also just like, I felt like it was making a joke out of his power rather than showing his power legit.
Yeah.
And so I was really glad that scene didn't make it into the movie. And outside of The Rock and his activity on social media, which was good, the marketing for this movie fucking sucked. They dropped the ball. They
I didn't see marketing
absolutely
for it
dropped,
virtually anywhere.
and that's why
They
I
should have
guarantee
had
you
more
that's why
push.
they publicly were just
Mhm.
like, "Fuck it, we're just going to tell people that Cavill is back as
Cavill's in it.
Superman at the end,"
Mhm.
because they wanted to
Mhm.
get asses in the seats, and they figured, you know what,
Mhm.
we like the people who are already going to go see it are going to go see it. Like that's decided. We need something to push the people who are DC fans, but were on the fence about whether they were going to go see this movie or not. We need to get them into this. And they just, you know, this, they only filmed this scene like a month or two ago. It was like after SDCC. It was not like they were still working out the deal back then to get Cavill back. So this was not like a foregone conclusion. It was like, and
Took a
the
while.
old regime at DC didn't want to do it. And then once the new regime came in, The Rock started talking to them about it. They worked out the deal by SDCC, or after that. But like, I mean, they needed to get people into the theater that were on the
rumors
fence.
that they have money problems, and the marketing for this makes it seem like that might be legitimate because there's virtually no promotion for this film other than The Rock being The Rock and just
It wasn't that there was no promotion; it was bad promotion. Like
it was there, it just didn't have enough.
Bad promotion. There wasn't much promotion. I mean,
well, The Rock said it. If it wasn't him and Jim Lee were the ones that pushed to get Cavill back too.
I see
like he
more
said that
promotion from The Rock personally than you know, like him pushing it than commercials on TV or Facebook streams. You know, it was mostly just The Rock I think willing this film to be successful.
But that's why they just flat out said, "Hey, Cavill is back as Superman."
Cavill's back.
They just, because they're like, all right, people want to see that, and if we tell them that, then people will. Because like Jason, you even said like you wanted the movie to be good. But you were going to go whether you heard it was the worst fucking movie of all time or not because you wanted to see Superman at the end. And you were willing to roll the dice on the rest of the film to see that. And there are a lot of other people that would do the same thing and be like, I got to go see Superman in this. Who knows if we're going to see him again. This might, if they don't do anything beyond this might be my only chance to see him on the big screen again. So that made them more money just by revealing that post-credit scene. And they were like, fuck it, we'll give away the surprise in order to get asses in the seats and make more money. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Renz Talentino said, in my opinion, I'm glad the trailers don't give away most of the story and leave us surprised and make it enjoyable.
It wasn't about
consider the simple fact that Vinny doesn't watch a damn trailer. It doesn't matter to him in the first place.
It wasn't that the trailers were giving away the plot. It was that they weren't fun.
They sucked, but I'm glad they sucked because I didn't want to see a lot in the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like I said.
Yeah, but it's not about it's about the pacing and it's about the conveying the tone of the film without giving too much away. That's the art of a trailer.
Yeah, true.
The tone so that you're excited without giving away all the surprises and all the good stuff that you want to experience in the theater. It's a balancing act, and trailers have definitely gone way to the other end of just giving away too much these days. But back in the day, that it was a real art form to it, and that's why I really appreciate a good trailer. And it wasn't that the trailers were giving away too much of the story. It was that the trailers were not good. They didn't convey the tone of the film and the excitement. That was the issue with the trailers going into this. It had nothing to do with how much they gave away a plot, because the plot is pretty basic.
Yeah.
You know what? That airplane thing, man, I just noticed that wasn't in the movie. When you were pointing that out about the Iron Man thing, you think that's probably why they took it out, because they got heat about Iron Man. Because
I think they just realized it was a bad scene and they took it out. I don't think it was because people were saying, "Oh, it's ripping off Iron Man or poking at Iron Man." I don't think DC gives a shit about that. I think it was just that it wasn't a good scene and it didn't make it into the movie.
Oh, got you.
I would agree. The Black Panther trailers and the advertising and marketing have nailed it. It's been incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
They've definitely got me enticed. I cannot wait. We are only a few weeks away from it, and
the first trailer is one of the best ones that Marvel has ever done.
That was the best one.
It is
that I've ever seen. That was the best one, man. And I wasn't pumped.
Even though the second trailer is not as good, I still got goosebumps seeing it on the big screen before this movie.
I wasn't pumped to see it at all because I really want a recast, right? But I think we all saw it. I think except for Vinny, me, Brendan, and Lyle saw it. I was like, yo, I have to go see it now. Like
Yeah,
I was moved to go
because
see it.
I have this feeling that all concerns are going to be put to rest, and I think we're in the long run, and I don't know shit, but I think in the long run we're going to get what we want, but in a way that is tasteful and in a way that is done right. That's why I believe it's going to happen. So I cannot basically wait to see. All of the game says, what is this? The huge and upcoming football soccer World Cup starting on November 20th will have an impact on global box office.
I guarantee you, this movie Black Panther is gonna be pushing $1 billion regardless of
not in America. I mean, Americans don't care about soccer.
Right.
Yeah,
Once November 11th,
the domestic box office is going to be just fine, and the rest of the world, they've got to do something. In between all the the soccer players just like flopping and pretending they got hit and like running out the clock for like 5 minutes at a time. So the box office will be just fine.
Yeah.
So Trimble Dust, I saw this earlier. I wanted to actually bring this up here because he posted.
The one about. Yeah, I saw that too. He was never going to be in the MCU. That was just fans talking. And then, look, Kevin Feige is not going to try, even though I'm sure he has the utmost respect for Henry Cavill. Kevin Feige is not going and trying to pick up scraps from DC and then build the MCU in that way. All right. It was never going to happen. That was, I mean, Jason even sent us like in our group chat, chat, a picture that was photoshopped of like Henry Cavill and a bunch of other people announced and stuff. And it was like SDCC hadn't even started yet. And it was supposedly a presentation picture from SDCC.
I was pissed off.
He's gotten better. He's not doing that.
You were.
I was mad as hell. Remember I sent you that picture? I was pissed off, bro. I was early in the morning.
I
was so mad, bro.
Like Henry Cavill's big ass and fucking Dr. Doom suit, he'd be like breaking out of it.
I was mad as hell when I sent y'all that picture.
The thing is, it's like, bro, again, everybody wanted to see Cavill as Superman. He knew that. He already knew. And I think what delayed
he loves the character though, bro.
Yeah. But what delayed the news, because again, he had said that he wanted, they put out a statement today that he even put this on Instagram. He was like, he wanted to make an announcement about it earlier, but he wanted to wait. Exactly. He wanted to basically wait and just let it be known this way. And I think it bodes well. Like I said, man, I respect, definitely I have a level of respect for Dwayne Johnson for pushing for this, because again, he
may have single-handedly saved the DCEU.
Yeah, that's what I give him props.
I give him props. Bringing Henry back.
Right.
The frustrating thing is Hamada didn't want Cavill, and it reminded me like
he didn't, bro. He didn't. What a hater, man.
When Jerry Reinsdorf from the Bulls was like, I don't want Jordan anymore. I want to win without him. And it's like, and
they sucked after that.
And it just he tore it apart just so that way he could,
right,
out of spite for Snyder.
Out of spite.
It was kind of like, all right, well, you can move on from the Snyderverse with the actors. I mean, they don't have. I don't understand that logic. I mean, that's like saying if Feige and the Russos had a falling out, it's not like they would feel like, oh, all those people
exactly
the Infinity War movie, I don't want to use any of those actors anymore because
it's not a thing where
it's like they've cut ties with directors before, like you don't see them like holding that kind of it's just very bad business.
And it's like, bro, I've really never seen an actor take their character so personal. Like even after he wasn't coming back for a while, he will always get wherever he was at, Mission Impossible, whatever. Do you think it'd be Superman again? You can see it in his face. He was like hurt.
He
bro.
loves the character. Look, he was never going to leave being fucking Superman.
Right.
I don't care where he's from. He was never going to leave Superman to go be fucking Captain Britain in an MCU movie.
Or Hyperion.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
he would have felt ridiculous as Hyperion in the MCU. Not from us. He would have felt ridiculous because he's like, I was fucking Superman,
dude.
Now I'm a dude in the MCU, but people don't even
A
fucking know what
knockoff.
this character is.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he was
Dude.
never gonna do that.
To see it on his face, and every press conference dude was at, and they asked him, but that
He's got
somebody
too
asked him
many-
about Superman.
Yeah, he's
And
got too many
his
other
face.
franchises. He's got Superman. He's got The
Yeah.
Witcher. He's
Witcher, yeah.
most likely like he's the one who's attached, and he's helping to get the reboot of the Highlander franchise going. Right,
I heard about that too. Yeah,
and he doesn't need. He's one of the few actors who could be like MCU. Nah, I'm okay.
right,
I
right,
swear, every time
right.
somebody says it, I can't.
Yo, toe boy, man.
Yeah, every time I hear it,
Might take
I
the
just
might
get-
out of that. Take the
I
might
just-
out of that.
I just get so happy when people just say this is funny. But anyway, speaking of which, because I'm glad you basically brought this up because I wanted to kind of segue into this, briefly. And I'm glad you talked about it. I'm gonna start with you, Jason, because I know you have some strong feelings about this. How do you feel about the simple fact that Walter Hamada has walked away from Warner Brothers? And what do you think the real reason of that might have been?
I'm glad Wally is out the mother building. Take his little punk ass and go mess up somebody else's franchise for a change. Like I'm so glad that he's gone. I think for the fact that he had so much hate for Snyder, right? You're gonna destroy his vision. Like, I mean, okay, you don't even have to have his vision no more. You could have kept the same characters, the same people that played these characters that had become somewhat semi-iconic in some of their portrayals, and try to erase them all and put in the Wonder Twins. Are you kidding me, bro? Who gives a fuck about the Wonder Twins and Plastic Man? I'm like, what? This guy is out of his mind. And to have Superman down for so long, I don't get it, bro. You're supposed to be ahead of an entertainment company. Entertain us. Give us what we want. We're fans. Why are you trying to sit Superman down and Batman down? And I'm sorry, you kept Wonder Woman, but you want to replace them with a 90-year-old Michael Keaton and freaking the Wonder Twins and Plastic Man. Like, come on, bro. Like, I wasn't gonna watch none of that shit. I don't care at all.
Lying, you were
No.
gonna watch it and bitch about it. You were gonna watch that shit, and you were gonna fucking angry.
Plastic Man and the Wonder
You were
Twins.
gonna watch it. Don't even.
Come
say
on, bro. Nah, I'll give you all my tickets, bro. I'll give you my tickets.
So it's safe to say you're happy.
I'm happy as hell
that he's gone.
Wally is gone. Wally's gone.
You happy that basically Wally is gone?
Wally is gone.
We got my little
fuck
brother.
Somebody else to shit up.
We got my little brother Wally, Wonder Twins. Me and KG should have. You right, bro. Y'all should have.
No, you do not want to be those Wonder Twins. You don't want to be those Wonder Twins.
Riley is crazy. Shout out to Riley Reviews, bro.
Zan and Jaina.
So it's safe to say that you are glad that he's gone.
I'm
right?
happy as hell.
Here's the thing. So it's safe to say that I know that another person out there who had some gripes.
He's very happy right now.
He's very happy.
He is very fucking. He's feeling.
That Grant Gustin meme where he's doing a peace sign over Green Arrow's grave? That's Ray Fisher over Hamada leaving.
Yeah. It
so
is
you think they're gonna have? You think they'll have him back? Because they show a lot of his comics in the Black Adam movie. They had the Cyborg comics on the ground and stuff out of his book bag in his room.
So here's the thing. It's possible. I mean, when you think about who's still in the mix now, you've got Cavill. All right. You still have
Godot.
You still have Wonder Woman. You still
Ben
have
Affleck still out there.
And then you still have Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Those three are locked. Okay. Then you have the potential with Ben Affleck being, in the Flash movie, and then
he's in Flash and Aquaman.
Well, Aquaman wasn't confirmed that he's definitely in it, but we know for a fact that he's.
Look at his face.
Dude. That's fantastic. I love it.
We do know that
his face is like, how about that?
We do know that Affleck is in the Flash movie. Now we don't know what's going on with Ezra. Most likely, recast. We'll see
No,
what
he's gonna
comes
get
out of
replaced.
this like Flashpoint movie
Recast.
and kind of
Yeah.
Well,
figure
the
that
rumor
out.
is that Wonder Woman is actually in Shazam. That's the rumor.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have all of these elements that are still in place.
Yeah.
So from
Mhm.
that kind of original core Justice League, so they could
Mhm.
bring him back. The
Well, what's the
question
boy
is,
from
do they want to take any of that baggage on, or do they bring in a different character that's not Cyborg? So who knows? But this is
Mhm.
a kind of thing where Walter Hamada's legacy, honestly, yes,
What
he
legacy?
does bear a lot of responsibility for the way the DCEU went, but it was also more that they didn't have somebody like Kevin Feige, and so Walter Hamada was kind of juggling a bunch of shit, and he wasn't the right guy to be guiding the stories, right?
Well, call for help.
His biggest problem was more how the whole Justice League investigation, Joss Whedon, all of that stuff went, and how he kind of tried to sweep stuff under the rug at the expense of people like Ray Fisher and stuff like
Right.
that. Because
Right.
Walter Hamada, as a producer, has actually had a lot of success in his career. So I think it was that he got overwhelmed with, trying to manage the DCEU, and then he was trying to protect other key executives and people that were of monetary value to the company
Yeah.
at the expense of good working conditions, at the expense of the truth coming out and Ray Fisher talking about it and stuff like that. So I think that's what taints his legacy. And yes, he left, but realistically, Zaslav and the new management at Warner Brothers Discovery, I don't think they wanted his baggage. And I think him leaving was like, you can
icing on the cake.
You can leave, or we can kick you the fuck out. But
Yes.
one way or another, you're out.
Yes.
And I think that's where that came. But the faults of the DCEU, he owns his fair share of the responsibility. But there are a lot of people there that own a piece of that pie, not just Walter Hamada. But I am glad that he's gone, because I think you need a fresh
Jeff
start.
Johns. Jeff Johns was a motherfucker too that basically needs to own up to a lot of bullshit that he did, because that was stupid.
Yeah,
it
stupid
was
as hell.
Fucking stupid.
That's why I think they need a fresh start, and part of that
Yeah.
is not having the same people that were at the top of the pyramid when it came to the DCEU under the old regime still be the people that are kind of guiding things right now. And it makes sense. Now, Hamada's going to land on his feet. He's going to have a job tomorrow.
Not at DC.
Yeah, I think this is the right way to go now.
I don't give a damn where he worked. Bug him. The dude said Cavill was too old. Like, The Rock is 50.
I don't know about him saying that Cavill was old. I just know he wanted to try and completely just scrap everything that happened with the Snyderverse and try and start fresh, because he hated how everything went on that front. And that was kind of like, well, you're taking your personal feelings on that and denying the fact that the world sees Henry Cavill as the best Superman option.
Yeah.
And so I think he let his personal feelings on Snyder and how that all unfolded carry over to the best character that they had. Another reason why, I think it's good that he has moved on.
Well, did you the rumor about
won't be for DC shoes, won't be for DC nothing.
I don't care where his ass works, as long as it's not for DC. He can't even wash cars for DC. I don't care where he works.
Can't even be a roadie for AC/DC.
Not even a roadie.
But the thing is, I wonder. So again, we know that Zaslav wants the Trinity, and he wants the Trinity to be the focal point. And I'm wondering again, because we know that also this. And the reason why I have this picture up here, because it was rumored that, again, the reason why he was halting, Cavill as, Superman is because he wanted to bring in, a version, Val-Zod as, the new Superman.
But he wasn't going to call him Val-Zod. It was supposed to be Clark Kent.
No, they were going to give him something totally different. Is that the truth?
No, it was like
Kent.
J.J. Abrams was his production company was going to be making that movie, and they even said it was Val-Zod. It was going to be an alternate universe, Elseworlds type thing. It wasn't going to be in the main DCEU continuity. Now, maybe Warner
They were
Brothers
saying it's supposed
had
to
a
be
problem
Clark
with
Kent.
they
That's
didn't
what I
want
was
to have
hearing.
confusion and stuff. But
Mm.
the thing is, you've got the Matt Reeves Batman, and you've got the the main Ben Affleck in this continuity. So I don't have a problem with them. There you go.
Booty bots in the house.
We had the booty.
Booty boots.
So I don't have a problem with them doing this version of Superman because
No,
Yeah.
if it's not, if it's an Elseworld,
it was supposed to
Balzar.
be like an Earth whatever number. I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was supposed to be a different. It wasn't supposed to be the main continuity and replacing Henry Cavill. So and I was totally fine with seeing that with that movie. I wanted to see that movie. So I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think the current regime is just like, well, we're focusing where we spend our dollars.
The
and
bottom-
we don't want to
Clark
spend our
Kent.
dollars
Here's the
on that
thing.
because we want to focus on the main DCEU.
They listen, Hamada and pretty much because we already knew it. They had an agenda, against Zack Snyder. They didn't want that rendition of the Justice League, and they fought hard against it, even though the fans wanted that particular version. So we already know that he had an agenda, and they wanted to smudge anything that was directly related to Zack Snyder. That's exactly what they fucking
now.
did.
What wasn't he also pissed off about how Batman was killing the bad guys in BVS?
Who, Hamada?
Yeah.
No,
so it wasn't.
I'm just asking because there was rumor mills that went around.
Hamada rarely made public statements about
one way or the other
about like the storytelling and the character of that. He would talk about like the actors, the business side of things, but like that
financial
again,
side,
that stuff is just something that like fans start talking about on bullshit sites, and then it goes everywhere, and then you latch on to that shit because you just can't help yourself, and you're like, no,
it was rumor mill.
Yeah, exactly. But that none of that matters. The bottom line, I mean, he's gone.
But you guys think
a lot of those DC projects that were going to happen aren't now, and so now we're just waiting for the announcements of okay, what are you?
Man of Steel 2.
But you know what? I will say some good that he did do. I mean, because he did greenlight the Peacemaker, and I love the Peacemaker, bro. So I'm happy for that portion.
I watched it all. I just can't get into it, bro.
Bro, it's bro. I can't.
I watched it all. I just
It was funny as fuck. I loved it.
That show, freedom, like that.
Yeah,
that show
that shit was
great, dude.
That shit was fucking funny.
That show was amazing. Best opening like credit sequence in like a decade.
Well, did you hear the rumor about the guy from 1918 might be Flash? I forget his name.
Which one?
The replacement for Ezra.
Dude, I don't know. I don't even want to hear it because
I'm
no
asking.
replacement for Ezra right now.
He's not going to be. He's not going to be. He's not going to be in DC after the Flash is done.
But
oh yeah, we know that, and they already basically
recast.
said that they have a script ready for Flash 2.
For Flash 2,
but again, is until we see concrete. That's why I didn't even really tap into that because we have no idea. They don't even have a solid director yet. Like they just basically have a script, and that's it.
The script is done.
That's it. So again, beyond that, we'll see. What happens next. Hell, you never know, bro, because depending on how well, and again, they said that this film has tested well. We never know how good it is and how they'll try to bend the fucking rules to make shit work. We don't know. I just want to wait.
I'm gonna hate that
and see how this shit basically is out.
But we also got to remember, it's not just about how well the movie does financially. It's about how people respond to different plot elements and characters, and maybe they decide, okay, we're gonna do a Supergirl movie in here. Oh, okay, we're gonna do this or that, like. Or maybe they bring Leslie Grace and they do a legit Batgirl movie. Like we have no idea because they haven't announced like a whole slate the way Marvel has. So it like a lot of stuff literally hinged on how this Black Adam movie did. Yeah. And then the next big thing is how the Flash does. The issue is that we've got a big fucking gap to wait in between.
Yeah.
So they're still working out their plans and stuff like that and dealing with all the Ezra bullshit. That's why it's like, talking about like who might be the Flash, it's like that's literally only just like fan like casting speculation stuff at this point, because Warner Brothers has not cast anybody to replace him yet. I guarantee.
No, I know that. I'm just saying,
They're not even
like,
in talks
potential.
with anybody yet.
We probably won't know who the next Flash would be if they replace him for another 3 years.
Yes.
I just hope that it's Barry, and they're not going to try and be like,
I don't want
this
Wally
is
yet.
This is
I don't want Wally West.
Just give us a fucking
I want Barry.
We've recast Batman 47 times. We can recast.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You can't. The thing is, it'd be stupid for them to Wally West haven't really fully fleshed out and explained that story. It takes a while for you to get there.
Right.
You can't give us Wally West yet. That would be the biggest fucking mistake that DC would, or that they would.
I don't want Jay Garrick either. I don't want Jay Garrick
even knows what he's doing.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That would be the dumbest mistake that they could have
Right.
ever done. So they might as well just keep it Barry Allen and just
Yeah,
keep
they
it
have.
moving. Recast
They
because
have
they
to.
recast everything else.
Recast. Right.
They recast other people. So just let
Right.
it go.
I don't
and
want
just leave it the
Wally.
way it is.
I don't want Jay
No,
Garrick.
I think it'll be. I think
Hopefully
it'll
they're
be
able
Barry.
to separate box office from attachment to Ezra. If this thing makes, $600, $700, $800 million,
It's gonna make some money, I think.
I don't want them thinking that if the movie's a success, that maybe the fans aren't too pissed off at Ezra. It's like, no, they just want to see a fucking Flash movie.
That's all they want to do.
Oh, this is right. We do got Fury.
Yeah,
God,
but the
St.
thing
Patrick.
is,
Yeah,
Shazam is not one of the movies that they're really relying on for like how this does financially and what the forecast is for the DCEU. The big thing was because Shazam was a success the first movie. Okay, that's a known quantity, so they know they can get X amount of success out of a Shazam movie. Zachary Levi in the role. The big question mark was Black Adam, who people knew even less about than Shazam. With The Rock,
money.
Could they make that into a successful movie? Then you bring in Superman. That's a big thing. The Flash is the next one where people have big questions about what is going to happen with the DC films moving forward. Shazam is people just want to see a fun Shazam movie. People aren't looking at that as like this is a barometer of what the DCEU is going to be able to expect to do moving forward. So it's next, but it's not the real next test. The real next test is that Flash movie.
definitely, man.
Shazam is more suitable to be a self-contained type of thing.
Exactly.
Even in the comics, Shazam usually doesn't have a big, reach.
Just like the first one
to world events. Shazam isn't exactly a major DC player involved in all the different stories. It's not like a Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman.
Yeah, nah. He's still a kid, man. He's still honing his powers and everything. So that's not a big one to be worried about.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, everybody out there, thank you so much. It's been a great discussion. We're going to talk about, I figured what we'll do basically is we'll push the discussion for Alex Ross because I really wanted to dive into that. It's kind of too late to do that right now. I really wanted to dive in and, get into a side because I really appreciate his work. There was a documentary, but also he put out this message the other day that I loved. So we'll definitely, talk about that again next week with some other stuff that's be going on. So tune in. Great participation from the chat. I love the questions that y'all basically asked. And this is how you keep it going. Mikey Lito, you get the MVP this week with that statement. I'm ready for anything. Y'all can come at me like straight up.
Mikey is a champ.
Mikey is a champ. He killed that, bro. I love that, man. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for so much. All in the game. Great, interesting questions. Love that too, my man. Appreciate that. Everybody out there, Trimble Dust, Kate Carter, my man Keith, Uncle Keith coming through, Riley Reviews. Who else did we have? Renz Talentino, Justin McFly came through, Toy Box came through. Definitely everybody who actually, even the Booty Bots came through for some booty. But thank you very much for basically being here first.
I just say shout out DC for putting out a movie that let us have a show without being depressed.
Finally.
That's what
I did not go ape shit on the show about DC. I'm so happy.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Bravo.
OG fan with Star Wars was just Star Wars. Thank you for coming through, my guy, all day, every day. Vinny, what you got coming up next, bro?
Man, I'm just looking forward to let's see, we got Andor coming up, and we got just I'm not sure. What's Black Panther's right around the corner, I guess.
Yeah,
November
that's
11th,
between 2
like
weeks.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, that's right around the
2
corner.
weeks.
I might make it out to see Black Adam again. I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah.
still just excited.
Go,
like that was
go see it
such a
again.
great movie. I got another.
We need all the money. We need the money.
I got another week of October's left, so I'm hard work running those out, and I'm just looking forward to more comic book talk with friends next week. We got Uncivilized Scoundrels on Thursday, still chopping it up about Andor. I'm looking forward to Alex Ross talk because that's been one of my idols since since as long as I can remember. Alex has been wowing me and one of my inspirations. So definitely as an artist, I can't wait to talk about his stuff for sure next week, and keeping it going.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much
No doubt.
for being here as always. Jedi Pimp, man, what you got going on, brother? What can we expect from you? I mean, are you going to say Black Adam like 3 more times?
I'm probably gonna go again maybe Saturday afternoon. I'm trying to give it some. I want that movie to have some cash so we can get Man of Steel 2 pretty quick. Other than that, man, I'm just taking care of some things around the house. I got some stuff coming in. I think some more books. I gotta pick up. Did I order? Oh no, I didn't. I didn't get that yet. I got Superman stuff coming. I'm waiting for my Miles Morales work from Vinny that you still have at your house.
I got you.
And that's it. Oh, I start school again. I'm about to get this pilot license. So I start school. Yeah, I start December. So that'll be cool. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's it for me, man.
Definitely, man. Thank you for coming through as always, Jedi Pimp. Master Sergeant on IG. Thank you for being here. And last but not least, come on, bro. What you got going on, Mr. Butt Naked?
Pretty quiet over the next week. Just picking up books and stuff. I got just looking forward to Andor on Wednesday. And not She-Hulk on Thursday. So that's
yeah,
nice.
It's a good week.
Gonna feel so good. Hell yeah.
That's pretty much it. But Lael, if you want to just throw up, I just sent you those pictures. Just
yeah.
suggestions
I'll throw it
for
up there real
people.
quick.
Just a couple quick books
broke.
for people if they want to find a good read this week. Or they came
Hold on,
out
let me bring it up.
last week. But
Hold on. I'll bring it up now in just a second.
Technology is not his strong point, so you gotta give it a second.
I know it's just this Mac is not a strong point because the shit moves slow as fuck. So you gotta kind of bear with me because this shit has been acting up. So anyway, there you go.
There we go. All right. So the approach is like a really good first issue of it's going to be like a kind of horror miniseries that it's kind of described as like a horror movie kind of meets like Die Hard 2.
Cool.
And it's basically this like massive snowstorm hits this airport. And there are all these, people that land and they're like stranded in the airport when the electricity's off and everything while they're all kind of snowed in. And all of a sudden this plane appears out of nowhere and has to land. And then they realize that the plane went missing 27 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just, it's kind of a straightforward kind of like plot, like in that you kind of get it's a slow burn and then something like in that at the very end of the issue kind of sets up what it's going to be like for the rest. But it's kind of this like creepy, I love those kinds of stories, like plane goes missing and shows up 27 years, like the opening of like Fringe, the Fox TV show back in the day, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, classic.
I like those kinds of things. It's in my wheelhouse, so that's why I like this one. The next one, if Lael is still there and wants to flip to the next one, I don't know if he is, but if not, there he goes.
Nice.
So there's another one too, but yeah. So Deadly Spider-Man.
I just picked this up this week. Yeah,
I will say that this, I've been a little let down, but I kind of thought we were going to get some better Spidey action and stories out of this year being his, the 60th anniversary, and
Yeah.
and I feel like the Amazing Spider-Man, runs have been a little on the weaker side. But this one I'm really digging. I won't give anything away other than he's out in LA for this miniseries. There's a great David Mack variant cover, and a couple others. Ryan Stegman's doing one later on in the run. I think it's going to be like 5 issues. I love, Lael, if you want to scroll to the next, I love the art style in this book. Very, very different than what we're seeing in some of the other books. It's just like super, and it kind of goes back and forth with this kind of like dream style and then the real one. The next picture, I absolutely love that art style for Spidey. Just looks dope as shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
So,
I like that.
And the story is a solid start to it. So I'm definitely enjoying this one. So that came out a week ago, so that's a good one to grab. And then you can go to the next one. And this is a panel from it that just shows like there are parts of it that have that kind of Into the Spider-Verse animated movie style, and I love that panel. Like I would love that as a print on my wall.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There are a lot of good pieces of art in this book like that. And then go back. I think you skipped one. It was before the approach. There was one. Go back. There we go. Hitomi.
Oh.
This one is sorry, got a cough. This one is from Image, and it's a really cool issue that sets up the rest of the miniseries. But it's basically billed as a Kurosawa movie meets a Tarantino movie, but in a comic book.
Shit.
So it's this young girl who is basically kind of become a Ronin and then trains under this other samurai, and she's trying to, get vengeance for something that happened when she was younger. Cool art style, cool dialogue, and it's going to have some some bloody action and stuff that after this first issue sets it up. So that's another one that I think is a good kind of off the beaten path, not Marvel, not DC, but still really cool story. So those 3 books are really solid reads for anybody who's looking to pick something up this week.
Nice.
Definitely. Thank you for coming through, Mr. Butt Naked, with some issues and some good reads. So definitely, come on, man, support your local brick and mortar. Get out there, grab some pieces, man. Grab all the books that you basically need. I still got tons of books I got to go through after my pickup. It's just finding the time, but I've definitely been getting through, my catalog. So definitely happy about that. You too must get through yours as well, especially if you want to get the source material for all these movies and know what
nothing like it, baby. Just grab those books.
Grab those books, start reading. Definitely thank you for coming through.
Support mom and pop shops.
Support the mom and pop shops. As always, you want to make sure that you do, because I'm telling you, if you don't, then it's we got to keep it going, definitely. And also, if you haven't already followed and if you haven't already subscribed to the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel, make sure that you basically do. Again, great content over here. We had comic book talk with friends today. Tomorrow I'm actually doing a very special birthday live show, so stay tuned for that. Wednesday, Say What. Thursday, of course, Uncivilized Scoundrels. We have Figure Flex Friday, so I'm definitely excited about that. I'm excited about that. Definitely excited about that. And then also we have Collectors Lounge International, so definitely stay tuned for that. Again, we'll be back here next week where we will have a full-on discussion about Alex Ross, because he is a hero of mine. Just knowing his story and the stuff that he's fought for, it just means so much. So definitely we will have a discussion about that. You guys have been great. Everybody out in the chat. I can't wait to talk to you guys again. Shout out to everybody who participated in today's discussion. This is how we do it. This is how it's done. This is how it is actually done. We have discussions about comics. We banter back and forth. People can throw jabs and they can take a punch. that's how it is, and this is how we do it every day, all week. I mean, this is how we do it. So
All in the
again,
game. That's rude. He's not. He's almost, but he's not quite 60. Lael is younger than that. Come on, don't be.
Yeah, I mean,
hey yo,
I'm trying to hurt feelings.
Hey, it is what it is. I take that. I take it and run with it. It is what it is. I would take that and run with it. But again,
happy
you
early
guys.
birthday, bro.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
appreciate it,
it's
bro.
about to be midnight soon. So yeah, in a few.
Oh, word! Happy birthday,
20
man!
minutes,
It's coming.
Hell
Yes,
yeah,
coming.
man. Thank you so much, everybody out there. Thank you for your birthday wishes. And just thank you for actually just making this show like a great birthday gift with the discussions and you know, everything that we actually do. These are my brothers. So I think that we got one of the hottest shows on YouTube, and it's just going to keep growing. So I appreciate that. Everybody out there, thank you for participating and be on the show with us. Tune in next week. Again, we're going to have some more interesting discussions. Whatever happens this week, we'll talk about it next week. You already know that, especially if in the comic realm, we're just going to keep it all the way real and all the way funky. Anyway, stay
Birthday
geeking out.
cheeks.
Always birthday cheeks. You're funny. Make sure that was,
what you think.
that was actually the day before yesterday. But anyway, make sure. Hell yeah. Make sure that you guys basically come through. We will see you guys next
He
week.
said
Have a
that,
great
Tori, not
night,
me.
a great week, and we'll
Yeah,
see you
we're
again.
innocent.
Peace out all day. Love, collect them comics, local brick and mortar all day. Butt
Peace.
cheeks.